HamRadioConcepts, the place to come for amateur radio videos.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is Eric, KJ4YZI with HamRadioConcepts, and I had fun making that introduction, probably more fun than I did playing with the radio. So we're checking out today the FTM-400D, thanks to, as you've seen in the introduction, GigaParts.com for allowing me to borrow these things to bring it to you in video, because without GigaParts and getting these in my hands, I wouldn't be able to show you this cool stuff in video. So I really appreciate what they did, and I figure I can give them just a big thank you in the introduction showing their stuff. So this is an open box model, a floor model of the FTM-400D that they had. Now you may notice online the FTM-400XD, and the big difference is the GPS. This model here, the GPS locks a little slower than the FTM-100 did. So when they came out with the FTM-400XDR, that had a better locking or faster locking GPS, but this really wasn't an issue for me. So this radio is still usable and completely compatible with everything else if you're in the used market looking for one, or open box model, if you can't justify spending the extra money. So I want to take a look at this one, especially being that it's open box. I'm not afraid to break it. Now, Yaesu FTM-400D, dual band, analog and digital, VHF, UHF, with analog and C4FM system fusion, and guess what? APRS in it. Yaesu still puts APRS in these, and I love that because APRS is still very usable. So we're going to turn this on. I factory reset this radio. I'll show you right into the menu. We'll get right into the meat and potatoes, and then after I'll show you around the radio. And also in the next video, I have the camera mic to go with it, so I'll snap a picture from a handheld and send it to this so you can see how that works and what it looks like. So turning this radio on, you'll first be greeted with, please enter your call sign, okay? The beautiful touchscreen display, if my camera really can do it justice, is just marvelous. I mean, if you had this in your vehicle, well, with this touchscreen, very highly advisable not to have it on your dashboard in direct sunlight for a while. But not only that, don't have it on your dashboard so it gets, vandalized or broken into and you get your head unit stolen, because that would, if someone was looking at this through a window and it was on, it really looks technical. So keep that out of the way. I know I had a Kenwood years ago that had a big LCD screen on it, and in the sunlight for a while it turns it black. So you want to make sure if you can, that's why it's a remote head. You can definitely take that thing and do away with it, out of the sun. So the touch screen, we'll just type in my call sign real quick. Very simple. Now the touch screen on this, I've noticed, is not quite like a smartphone. You have to pretty much, hold your finger on it for about 1/8 of a second to get it to really recognize your response. No problem there. But, you can't go fast on it. For those texters out there that just blast through, touchscreen phones, it doesn't work like that. So now you're greeted with the main screen of the radio. And right off the bat, you can see you have VFOA, VFOB, your mode on the right, and your volume and signal meters on there. So right there, it's pretty easy to get going. I'll show you. If you want it, we'll start with the analog repeater. Let's say I want to get on a local repeater in my area. Very simple. You can either go VFOA or VFOB, just like that. You can tap VFOA, use the dial to change the frequency. Notice the automatic shift direction is on. Okay. Now I'm in FM auto mode. Notice the line on top of the FM indicates it's listening for all types of signals, whether it be voice, digital narrow, voice wide, or FM. So as the FTM-100 had, there's a couple similar buttons. The display and setup button, the group monitor, the digital wires X button is all on this radio also. So kind of similar with the features, just a different way to present it. Now, if I hit the digital button here, you'll notice the mode changes. Right now I'm on digital narrow. At this time, I'm already ready to go on Fusion. That fast. Right out of the box, 5 seconds, I'm on Fusion. I can go digital narrow. I can go to voice wide, FM, or leave it on auto select. Now, if I wanted to, well, first we're going to go into the menu here, and I'll show you. I'll go back to FM for a second. Hold the setup button here. That'll take you into the menu. Now the menu, very good contrast, good color on this menu. Has all of what you'll need here. You can use the dial to scroll through the different banks that you want. We'll go first to signaling, and I'm going to set the repeater tone. Okay. Right there I got 107.2 on the local repeater for analog FM. I can go to config, and I can set date and time format, auto repeater shift, all kinds of stuff here. All right. We'll talk about Bluetooth in a minute. So, how about group monitor? If I was traveling about, this thing is going to send a beacon out every so many, seconds. You could see it up here. It'll go transmit and receive. And that's just seeing if it could ping the repeater. And the repeater knows that, so it'll pop up on a list and say, okay, these 3 people are in range of group monitor, and then you can see it's transmitting and receiving. Now that does get sometimes annoying if you're in the middle of a conversation, because it is going to break through and make sure it pings that repeater and it lets it know that it's in the area. So that's your group monitor. Now, we'll go back in the setup here. Your APRS. Okay, APRS compass, I'll show you that in a minute. All your APRS settings on here. All right. Now APRS, I think, can only be used on the VFO-A, kind of like a lot of other Fusion radios. That would be up here on the top one would be APRS. Once you set the APRS up, it'll automatically beacon your position and data, telemetry data, to the APRS network. And there's a lot of settings on APRS. You can look up my video on, APRS is more than just watching somebody drive to a hamfest. That's what a lot of people think it is. Why do I care about where he's going? No, it's a tactical relay of information that you can message each other. You can, text cell phones, send emails, do all kinds of stuff from APRS, but that's a whole nother topic. In the APRS settings, once you set that up, if you choose to use APRS, makes it a lot easier with the touchscreen to reply to messages and choose the call sign you want to send a message to. Now, you will have to make sure you put your call sign, your APRS call sign in there, and that's more of that on the web. This would be KJ4YZI-9 for a mobile unit. If you were a handheld, you'd be -4 and so on. But you can set your settings in here, and once you set it up, if a message came in, you'd have your messages, but let's say I wanted to reply to a message to this person, and the reply text. It looks a lot easier to do it this way, typing in a message, hitting enter, and sending it. Because on something like my FTM or my FT1DR I had, was a little bit tricky with the keypad on the front of the radio to send a message back, because you had to, remember when the texting was like when you wanted B, you had to hit number 2 twice, A, B. Then you had to hit over, then you had to hit LMNO or MNO for the O, This one is a lot easier to type that in on APRS. So you'll set your APRS settings up the way you want them or the way is suitable for you. Your position will be, smart beaconing is on here. The symbol, if you wanted to set up your symbol. And look, I like how this, if you're not familiar with APRS, again, the symbols are codes, like /R here would be the little vehicle, recreational vehicle. But it has all the symbols in here that you can change. See? So if you wanted to make it, ATV, weather station, bicycle, airplane, glider. A lot of the symbols are already there, so you can see the symbol that you want. So that's pretty cool, I think. It's a lot more, I mean, this thing has really got a great graphical user interface on it, being that it's touchscreen, it has all these features in it. Position comment, smart beaconing, voice alert. You know, it's got a voice alert. That's something that everybody should have on. Basically, if somebody was in the area on APRS, you wouldn't, if you set the radio up appropriately, you won't hear all the APRS hash or digital data. But with the tone set, if you called out there and said, KJ4YZI, listening on Simplex 5.2, anybody set up with voice alert would be able to hear that and know that they're in range of you. And, you know, so I could see, okay, this guy's on APRS. He's listening right now. We can QSY over to 14652. There's a lot of information online. You can check that out. So check this out, the band scope. That's a real-time band scope, all right? And as you see a station, it'll pop up on here. So you can see if you're on Simplex or if you're on, you know, different repeaters. You can see that there is activity when something comes on. I'm going to go to the APRS frequency just so we could see, because there's always something going on there. Just so you can see what it looks like on the scope. And that's very useful for people looking for stations, and I like the fact that it's got the real-time scope. So you can see in the middle there, those are APRS stations that are being picked up on the scope. And the digipeater and all that. So if you had a bunch of stations talking in a situation, you'd see a bunch of them on, and you could scroll over, you know, scroll the band scope over and see what frequency they're on. All right? So what else in the menu would we need to use right away? I mean, you got your memories. You got your scan, you know, data. Let's see what data is. Let's see what's in data. Okay, so data is for, you know, connecting it to the computer, because it does come with a PC connection cable. And you can use this radio with an HRI 200 to create a node also. Show you that on the back here shortly. So data features in here. So, I mean, right away, if I wanted to get on the radio and get on Fusion, here, I'll do this. We'll go right to a wires X repeater. 145130 is the AB4AZ repeater. We'll go to digital narrow. Hold the wires X button on the left. And it's going to come back with. Okay. So right now, that's the AB4AZ repeater. Now, we'll go down here to all. And we'll pull a list of all the Fusion nodes on the network. There it is. Looks a little bit better than something like an FT1D or a FTM-400, because you have more stuff going on in this touchscreen. It's pretty easy. Remember, here was the room here that I talked to you the last time. I'm going to jump in there and see if the Mike's in there. But here's the American link. Shows you on the right the amount of users in there in each one. You could also go down here to search and direct and find a specific room or node number. But we're going to connect to the Minnesota, Wisconsin Fusion here. Just tap on it. And it's going to connect me. There it is. This is KJ4YZI in Florida testing. So there's no one out there on the Minnesota Fusion, so I'll go back into here. And we'll go back up to all. So I'll go back over here to the America link. Connect to that one. KJ4YZI in Florida listening.
KJYZI. Good morning from Holland, Michigan, N8XPQ.
Good morning, Mike. November 8 XPQ from KJ4YZI. Vero Beach, Florida. Currently 65 degrees, testing an FTM-400D. Sounding good on this end. Go ahead.
Oh, very good. I'm also using an FTM-400, but it's one of the original ones. Just on my way home from the gym and just turned the radio on in the truck and heard your call come across. So, wanted to say hello. I have a few mile ride home, so I'd give you a call. We have overcast skies here today, kind of dreary. I think it's going to be that way pretty much all day today. Yesterday was sunny and pretty nice. It's a little cool, but all things considered, it's not too bad. We have 39 degrees here today. I think it was low to mid 40s yesterday, but the sun made it feel a little bit warmer. Back to you.
Now, I don't have the GPS set up after I did a factory reset, but in that process, I could hit the display and see his distance and heading from me. Very good, Mike. Yeah, I'm on one of the originals too, the FTM-400D, not the XD, but seems.
Oh, fine. Yeah, sounds good. So, all right, I'll let you run. Pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to catching you here again on America Link. Take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Catch you next time. KJ4YZI from N8XPQ in Michigan. We'll see ya.
All right, Mike, stay warm up there, and 7-3, KJ4YZI. So check this out as a little preview here. So I have the camera mic plugged in. There's a camera on top. So I'll just snap a picture real quick of the radio. Now you have to have an SD card in the radio to do this, but just take a picture like this. Then it pops up on the screen. There's a picture. And I'll show you that right here, which is on the actual SD card, of what the quality looks like. Let's take another one. Wow, my desk is a mess. I don't want you to see all this. See how that comes out. Yeah, messy. Let's go like this. So those are saving to the SD card. Then what I could do is, let's see here, let's get one more of the actual radio. It's not bad, you know. What you want to do is you want to go into the menu, go to Option USB Camera once you have it plugged in, and you can set the picture quality to high and the picture size, which the biggest is 320 by 240. But that way you have high quality set. And of course, high quality takes a little bit longer to send than low quality would. But you know, we'll test that in the next video, sending a picture and see how long it takes. So I went back in and set up the GPS settings, APRS, and you see the GPS symbol up here means it's locked. So if I was talking to somebody on Fusion and I hit the display, it would show me their distance in miles, their heading from me. You can see that on the camera there. I know my camera doesn't do the best in this kind of lighting, but that's something coming up soon. Then I could hit my information and it would show me, you know, which way I'm going, my speed, and all that stuff. Really is cool changing the background color. I like the orange, but you got purple here, and again, the camera is probably not seeing it as brilliant as it is. But I can go to display, Change the background color to gray, orange, green. Let's try green. So you can tailor it to how you want it to look and what looks best in your situation. If it's a highlighting situation or at nighttime you want it to look just the way you want it to look, well, you can choose your color. Before I show the rest of the radio here, we'll just give it a nice factory reset. Turn it back to stock. And it makes you hold this button to make sure that you are wanting to factory reset it so you don't accidentally touch it. And there it is. Back to stock. Let's look at the radio here for a second. Here is the camera microphone. I'll show you in the next video. The camera on the front, on the top there. The picture button, the digital transmit button. So you'd hold it like this and, snap a picture. Boop. And it doesn't have a regular connector on it like any other mic. It's got like a micro USB data type connector. So, exclusive to these types of radios. Now here's the head unit. And the head unit connects to the base unit, like the song, with a extension cable here, with the RJ11, not even RJ11, smaller than that. And for remote head operation. And that plugs into the front of the base of the body here. So you noticed in the video that I was playing with this thing and trying to balance it up and leave it like this. There is something in the box that'll attach to the bottom and keep that as a desk mount. But I will show you on the site here in a second. They do have like a mobile RAM mount that a lot of people use, and several different ways of attaching it so you have it on a movable head in your vehicle. Very important to have that if you want take full advantage of that. Now here's the radio body here for the remote head and the standard microphone, if you can see that with the camera. All right. I keep calling it GPS mic. The camera mic goes in here, and this is where your SD card is, microSD. Right. You would probably only need a 16 gig or an 8 gig. I mean, nowadays a 32 gig micro SD card, $15 or whatever online. So, I mean, if you get the 32 gig, it's the last card you'll ever need for the next 10 years on this radio. And please, I've done it several times now. I can't stress it enough. I've already went and got cheap Chinese knockoff SD cards. Let me show you one here. And they will go bad, and you will lose everything. I promise you, I've lost plenty of images. Now, this is what appears to be a Lexar 256 gig, 95 megabytes a second SD card. Now, if you look an authentic one, how much do you think this would be? About $100-something at the time when I got this right here from China, $5. Now, I thought, I know it's not real. I know it's a counterfeit. But I assumed maybe it would work, Well, that already went bad. 633 speed, wrong. This thing was slower than dirt. So make sure when you buy a memory card to get something that's authentic. The same thing happened when I got my DV Mega from GigaParts. I bought that kit and it came with a micro SD, a high quality, high class, a class 10 I think, SanDisk, and that worked fine. But when I tried loading images on the generic Chinese wannabe Kingston, well, that didn't work. It would load so slow, or it would fail, and it would, it just wouldn't work. So please do yourself a favor. So the radio here, the size of it reminds me identically of the FTM-100. I'll take the antenna off here. Power cable. Same power cable. And the body is just about the same. I mean, it pretty much looks like the same radio. SO239, fan in the back, same power cord. Data in the back here for hooking up an HRI 200 to make it a node. And again, a very solid feeling metal chassis that's heavy duty. It is a little heavy and great for heat dissipation. I just type in up here FTM-400 and it shows me the radio and all the accessories for this. And what I wanted to show is, they have the nifty stand, which is a little bit better than the one that comes in the box for the 400. The price right now, as of this recording, is $549 after mail-in rebate. But this is the XD version. And also, make sure you check this even after this video, because sometimes GigaParts has blowouts or they have specials, and this radio may be $499 at some point, so you can't go buy this video here. Always check and see if there's a holiday special or a blowout special when you're looking at prices. I normally don't show prices because of that reason. It may be different when you're looking at this 2 months later. I could recommend the ATRS software is a lot better than the Yaesu software. I had a FT1D, and it was impossible to use the Yaesu software. I guess they try, but it doesn't come close to the ATRS. ATRS has software for every radio. Now, for my blind hams or blind subscribers that ask me, is there something with a voice guide, and they always want to know, yes, this voice guide unit that works with the 100D also works with the 400. So it'll read out the current frequency on the main band, record an incoming signal, and more. An optional board that you can put in the radio to help with the visually impaired. Adapter plates for mobiles, mounting brackets, speaker microphone. And that's the same speaker microphone I had with my FT2DR. So camera mic. Bluetooth unit does also offer hands-free operation, remote PTT over Bluetooth to this radio. An additional board that you can buy as an option to plug into that radio. And so there's your accessories for the FTM-400. If I wanted a mobile rig, a digital mobile rig that did something like this, it would be this. It really would be this. I really, really like the touchscreen, the color touchscreen, the ability of sending pictures. You know, let's say you meet someone on the air and, hey, what's going on? Yeah, okay. You snap a picture and send it back and forth to each other. I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, here, let me show you what I'm working with here. Take a picture. Or I've said this plenty of times before. Skywarn users could very much benefit from this. Sending pictures of tornadoes or funnel clouds or what's going on right in their area to a repeater, and people downloading those and saving them to SD cards. You know, the picture quality isn't an iPhone 8, but if it was an iPhone 8, it would take 15-20 minutes to send. So Yaesu purposely did that to be able to send a picture within 30 seconds to a minute on the digital airwaves without, taking 15-20 minutes to send a picture. That's why it's like that. Now, when technology advances, maybe in the future we'll have way better high-definition pictures, but it's still a great concept. And from HamRadioConcepts, I want to thank you for watching this video. Another video I got coming up here right after this one about sending a picture. We'll try that out, test it out. Thank you very much to GigaParts for letting me check this out and bring it to you in video form. And I might have my eyes set on this thing. I'm not sure. I love this radio. Well, stay tuned. We'll figure out if I want to sell something else here to buy that. 7.3, more videos on the way. Subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment below on what you think of this radio. Give me a thumbs up for effort. And 7.3 from KJ4YZI.